Right, as I'm recording this, I am sitting in my bedroom, surrounded by books. When I say surrounded by, I don't mean like there's huge massive stacks all around me, and I've just found a empty space. No, I'm not one of those people. I have 2 bookcases in my room, as well as having a built-in wardrobe where most people keep the shoes, I keep books, but that part has got fictional books. The 2 bookcases, however, have mostly got textbooks, and these textbooks are all to do witchcraft and Wicca. There's 1 or 2 books about Druidism, but that's about it. It's mostly Wicca, and I've read probably from beginning to end 3 books, possibly 4. I've got a Book of Shadows by someone called, let me get it. It's by someone called Phyllis Currod. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I might be saying it wrong. It's basically how she came into the craft. Obviously, it's not her true Book of Shadows because that'll be personal. It basically has got her story, how she came into the craft, how she feels about it, and it's got a couple, if I remember correctly, I've not read it for a while, spells in it. Or not but spells as such, I mean, well, maybe there's like the Wheel of the Year, there's a potion for psychic dreams, that kind of thing. And I really, really like this book. It just seems so personal. So I've read that one, and I've read Vivian Crowley's Introduction to Wicca and books like that. However, when I'm reading these books, including this Book of Shadows by Phyllis's Book of Shadows, for the most part, yeah, that is her basically about her autobiography, for want of a better, because it really is about her life. But when it gets to the end of it, it obviously, like I say, it's got potions, it's got stuff like that in it. And a lot of these books, they mention, you don't need to own things in order to practice, to celebrate, and whatnot. However, it might be nice to set up a altar. It might be nice to do this. It might be nice to do the other. But you don't need anything. And then later on in the book, he'll mention how to do spells and potions and things like that. And they talk about using your wand or crystals or incense or athnays. The list goes on. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to do these spells, if I'm going to make these potions, I need to collect everything that they mention in the equipment section. And that's why I have not practiced, why I have not continued learning when I first started reading about it, because I kind of stopped and think, okay, I'll stop at this page, because the next bit, when I kind of flicked ahead a little bit, it's about setting up the altar, and I can't set up an altar without having the items and things like that. So I've stopped, and I obviously haven't had enough money, so I put it off, and it's been a few years, and I still haven't got enough money to buy these things. And I've read something since, basically it says you don't have to use physical items. You can, if you can visualize and meditate, you can actually achieve the rights or whichever you're trying to set out to do by visualizing it in your head. And I think I would enjoy that. So instead of having a physical altar, I can have a metaphysical altar. I can visualize my perfect altar and have it in my safe place, in my mind. And really, that will be a lot more practical, a lot more conducive, because basically when people come to visit and they come into your home, I don't know about you, but obviously, but my home, how it is, yeah, it's just basic two up, two down, but you give people the tour. People need to go to the bathroom, so you tell them where it is, and people are, for the most part, quite, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say nosy, I want to say inquisitive, that's the word. So yeah, they'll come to the bathroom, but I can imagine they'll want to kind of look around the corner and say, oh, so that's a bedroom, is it? Kind of thing. And if they see something like an altar, they might be tempted to touch it, move things about, and they're not really for touching by anybody else, are they? It's supposed to be sacred, it's supposed to be only touched or used by the person who's practicing, because it's personal. So to stop things like that happening, especially when you've got young children in the family, they're not just going to go to the bathroom and come back downstairs again. Kids are more likely to be nosy around the house, and that's what they do. So it really wouldn't be practical for me to have an altar, a physical altar, in my home at the moment. And it's not my house, it's my mother's house, you know, it's our home. Like I said previously, I don't know how my mum feels about Wicca and stuff. I think she doesn't really mind about the books so much anymore. She's seen the books I've had enough for absolutely years, and she's used to me having books, me being a bookaholic like I am. But if I had an altar, a physical altar that you could touch, I think she'd be a bit more freaked out by it, to be honest. So I need to get into a headspace where I'm meditating every single day. I need to be able to visualise equipment and essentially be able to touch the equipment without touching them. Does that make sense? Like, if I told you right now, without moving, stay where you are, but visualise in your mind that you're going to the kitchen, that you're going to get a chopping board, a knife, and some potatoes, and we're going to make some mashed potato together. Can you actually visualise, and can you feel the knife as you're scraping the potato, as you're chopping it up? Can you feel the bite of the potato? Can you feel the starch coming out of the potato itself? Can you feel the heaviness of the pan? That's what I need to get to do in myself. So this is something I need to work on. I think that is going to be my goal for a while. Obviously, this is not going to be the only thing I'm going to talk about with these visualizations and meditations, but for now, I do need to concentrate on that, and that's what I'm going to do. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try and read some more of my books, and having read them, or probably while I read them, I'll probably give a book review about said books. Okay, I think that's enough said for today, because I think I've waffled on plenty. If you come across this video by accident and you stuck around to this point, thank you very much. Please leave a constructive comment, and please don't criticise, because this is not what it's about. It's about constructivity, about positivity. Right, I'm going to go, because I've got to go to work soon. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you'll be around a lot more often, because I'm going to do these videos at least twice a week. I'm going to do these definitely on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I might do occasionally on Monday like I have done today. Thank you for listening if you have, and yeah, more on Wednesday.